Hi guys, Josh here, welcome to Frames Per Second. Today we're looking at the Canon 7, which is kind of the camera that came after the Canon P, which is a camera you've seen me use a lot. But now we've got the Canon 7. We're going to play around with that today, shooting some Ilford XP2. And yeah, we're just going to have fun in the city behind us here. But first we've got to walk over. But yeah, anyway, that's what we're doing today, so let's get to it. Today we're looking at the Canon 7, which is kind of the camera that came after the Canon P and is considered a big improvement on it because it has a slim light meter, so you don't need to add batteries to get the light meter working. But as time goes on, and if you leave the lens without a lens cap on, it can kind of ruin the meter and make it inaccurate. When I get a few more rolls through it, then I'll do a proper video review, but this at the moment is just first impressions. And it's a pretty damn good camera. Like, it looks great, it's built well, it has a lot of cool features that the Canon P doesn't have, but I will do a comparison video of the two in the future as well. I've got that planned, and so I don't really want to say my thoughts on as whether it's better or not yet, because I do have an answer for that, and it might surprise some people, but it also might not. You can still get it for decent prices, and if the selenium meter's working well, then that's an added bonus. But even without a working light meter, it's still a great camera. And it has shutter speeds that go from 1 to 1000. It does have a bold and a time mode as well. And you have frame lines for 35mm, 50mm, 85 and 100mm, and 135mm. And so it's got those frame lines for those lenses, and it takes any M39 or LTM mount lens, and it also has the bayonet to house the Canon 0.95 lens, which is a crazy expensive lens. I think the lens alone goes for like 3 or 4 grand now. It's a little bit chunkier than the P, and so as far as things go, it's not bad in your hand, but I do kind of wish there was a bit of a grip to it. I will say I really love the Film Advance lever. It just feels really nice, and this kind of makes me realize why people like the high-end cameras, just because of the ergonomics and how it feels in your hands, how it feels when you're advancing the film. And yeah, it does feel pretty great. One cool feature that the P doesn't have is you can lock the shutter button, so you don't actually take any photos, or if it's in your camera bag and you bump it, it doesn't take any photos. So I think that's a really cool feature I think more film cameras should have. I think the rangefinder patch is maybe a bit darker than I would have liked, but that could be just the camera I have. It does have a little bit of variation depending on the camera and how nice it was kept and well maintained it was kept. I did find myself missing focus just by a touch with a few of these shots. So I was using my Voigtlander 35mm 1.7 lens. I was probably mostly shooting at f8, 11, maybe even 5.6 during this day, and I do like the 35mm focal length, and the frame lines did seem to be quite accurate because I don't think I misframed anything. Maybe a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, but I didn't cut off anything at the top or the bottom of the frame, which was nice. This is just a first impressions. I really do want to put a few more rolls through it before I really have a proper review of it. But as far as first impressions go, if you can get it for a good price between, let's say, 200 and 600 Australian dollars with a lens, even if it's just a Jupiter lens, I think that's a pretty good price. It's a good quality camera. It can definitely withstand some damage, so you could use it for self-defense if you need to. And yeah, they don't make cameras like this anymore. It's just a very sturdy, reliable camera with great mechanics and just cool design as well. Next video I do on it, I will be testing out the light meter of it, so if you're interested in that, we're gonna give that a go. On the day, I felt like I didn't really get anything good, but looking back on these photos, I honestly am rather surprised. Unfortunately, the shot's out of focus. And I am quite happy with a lot of these. I shot it with some Ilford XP2, which is always great, and obviously is a C41 black and white film, so development is a little bit cheaper if you send it to a lab. I think this is a great camera, and there's a lot to like about it. but it also has its faults as well, but we'll get more into that when I do my proper review once I've put a few more rolls through it. But yeah, as of this moment, I think it's a great camera, and I think it's one that's definitely worth trying out if you can get your hands on one, because it is a good quality camera with a lot of cool features. There's enough there to kind of be more advanced than the P, but it's also simple enough that it won't be confusing to anyone that's still kind of learning or new to film photography. This woman is actually a model, so I asked if I could take a photo, and then we had a little quick chat, but she had to go quickly. But she's actually a model from Perth, which I found was kind of serendipitous. This is just my first impressions on the Canon 7. I know there's the 7S model, which also has a few added features to it and is considered the best version, but I only got my hands on the classic version, so I thought I'd shoot some black and white because, I mean, it's classic kind of street photography rangefinder, and I think it's one that's definitely worth putting on your wish list. So that's all we have for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the camera and the images in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe to those post notifications so you know when there's a new episode. Anyway, I'm Josh. This has been Frames Per Second. Just get out there, shoot some film.